Good morning, students. In the previous two live classes, I have explained you chapter 8 and today I am going to start chapter 9, verbs. But first, let's do the school prayer.
O God, infinite wisdom, the source of all knowledge, bless all of us, bless our school, bless our country and its leaders. Good God, bless our parents, students, and teachers. Almighty God, we beseech you, enlighten our minds, strengthen our memories, and make all of us good and loving children. Amen.
Dear students, a verb is the most important part of a sentence. There can be no sentence without a verb. Verb tells us what a person or thing does or what happens. For example, if I say the teacher the chapters to the students, do you get any meaning here? No, you can guess, but you do not get the complete meaning. Why? Because the verb is missing in a group of words, so it can't be called as a sentence. These words make no sense, hence, it is not a sentence. If I put a verb here, explain, then these group of words will turn into a sentence. A teacher explains the chapters to the students. One more thing you have to note down, that all verbs are not doing words, and also it is not necessary that all verbs should be of one word. Let's learn about the different kinds of verbs. We have main verbs and helping verbs. Let's first learn about the main verbs. The main verb is the most important word in the sentence. It shows action, state, or possession. The main verb is also called the head verb. It can be regular or irregular verbs. Please revise the forms of the verbs where I have explained you irregular and regular verbs. Back to here. How can main verb shows action, state or possession? Look at the following examples. The anchor hosts the program. Now in this sentence, the main verb is host and it is the action word. It shows the action of the subject, that is the anchor. Now the next example. The anchor is happy today. Here is the main verb and it is showing the state or the condition of the anchor. Now move to the next example. The anchor has two new cars. Here has is a main verb and it is acting as a possession, showing the owner of two new cars is the anchor. So we have learned three things here. First, the main verb shows action. Then the second one, the main verb shows state or the condition of the subject, and the main verb also shows possessions. Now move to the helping verbs. Helping verbs are also known as auxiliary verbs. So there are two kinds of helping verbs. One is the primary helping verbs or primary auxiliary verbs, and the next one is the modal auxiliary verbs. These auxiliary verbs help the main verbs to show the time or tense of the action. But the modal auxiliary verbs are used before the main verb to express ability, willingness, possibility, permission and intentions. I will explain about modal verbs after explaining the primary auxiliary verbs. The most commonly used helping verbs are be form, have form and do form. These verbs can be used as main verbs as well as helping verb in a sentence. Look at the be form of the verb. The be form includes am, is, are, was, were, being, and been. Of course, it is an irregular verb, so act as a main verb as well as the auxiliary verb. For example, he is writing a letter. Here is acting as a helping verb. It supports the main verb writing and is showing a tense, that is the present continuous tense. In another example, like he is a good boy, here is acting as a main verb. So you have to use all these auxiliary verbs in different sentences to have good practice. Now let's move to the have form of the verb. The have form of the verbs are have, has, having, and had. It is also an irregular verb. The base form is have, having is the present participle, and had is the past tense and past participle form of have. We use has with the singular subject. We use have, has, and had only in perfect tenses. It can be present perfect, can be past perfect, or it can be future perfect. I repeat, it can act as a auxiliary verb as well as the main verb. For example, you have done well in the first unit test. Now here have is acting as a auxiliary verb. In another example, you have new pen. Now here have is acting as a main verb. Move to the do form of the verb. Do, does, doing, done, and did are the forms of do verb. The verbs do, does, did in negative sentences are always followed by the base form of the main verb. Now look at these examples. I do exercises every day. Now here do is acting as a main verb. The next example, I complete my exercises every day. Now if I change this sentence into negative one, then the sentence can be like this: I do not complete my exercises every day. Now here do is acting as a auxiliary verb, that is the helping verb. Few more examples, like Rahul likes mangoes. Here likes is a main verb. If I change it into negative, then I have to add does. Rahul does not like mangoes. And here does is acting as a auxiliary verb supporting the main verb like. Just look at the another example, like Rohit ate the pie. Here ate is the main verb. If I change it into negative, then I have to add did. Rohit did not eat the pie. Here did is supporting the main verb eat. Let's move to the another verb, that is modal verbs. See dear students, modal verbs are also known as modals and they are helping verbs too. As I already told you at the beginning that these verbs are used before the main verbs to express ability, willingness, possibility, permission and intention. Actually, they reflect the mood and the attitude of the speaker or doer towards the action. You have to remember one thing, that you have to use the base form of the main verb after the modal verbs. Modals never change their form. Some commonly used modals are will, shall, may, might, can, could, should, must, and ought to. Just look at the example. I must pay attention in the live class. Now here must is the modal auxiliary verb and pay is the main verb. Dear students, revise the chapter thoroughly. If you come across any doubt, ask me in the live class, and we are going to solve these exercises in the live class. So be ready with your textbook, pencil and eraser. Till next class, take care and have a nice time.